Welcome to Echoes of Enlightenment, where we talk about spirituality, life lessons, and overall self-development. In today's episode, we'll be talking about why the chosen is disliked so much. I wanted to do this episode for the chosen to show some, help them to gain some confirmation on, different situations that we've encountered throughout our life. From childhood until the present time. And what the confirmation does is affirm situations that really only chosen ones can understand. Because when you grow up as a chosen one, you're faced with unnatural situations and you have weird experiences that if you tried to explain to somebody else that didn't understand, you would sound crazy. So the confirmation, this is how powerful confirmations are. And I'll use an example that's crazy just so we can all get the point in here. Say, you just live in a regular neighborhood and you have a crazy experience that night, and you walk outside, you go into your car, you're thinking about what happened, and you see your neighbor, and you're like, hey, I'm just making up a name. Hey, Jeff, what's going on, man? He's like, hey, what are you doing? What are you up to? What's wrong, man? It's like, dang, I had something crazy happened last night. He's like, what? Like, what happened? Man, I heard something outside of my house. So I went out there because I thought it might have been like a raccoon or something messing with the trash. And I looked and I heard something like kind of up by the roof. I looked on the roof. There was an alien on the roof. And you're expecting your neighbor to be like, what the? But what happens is, your neighbor goes, he was in my backyard last night. And then you're like, oh my God, it's the relief. It's the relief that somebody understands this situation that you went through that you never thought anybody else would believe you or had gone through. And that at that point, that neighbor, there was a sign of relief on both ends, both people, because that other neighbor probably wouldn't have even said anything. And now it's like, oh my God, yeah, I saw it in my backyard. And the dude's like, I saw it on my roof. Oh my God. So that's how powerful confirmation is. And I'm just the person who's actually saying something about it. And hopefully somebody stumbles upon this to get the confirmation that they need to realize that they're not the only ones. And hopefully I can help you navigate moving forward, or at least gain some understanding on some of the situations that you've gone through in your life and that are currently going through. So let's get started. So as a chosen one, you've realized throughout your life that you've always had people that didn't like you And it wasn't just like one person. This is like groups of people. It's always like you against groups. And it's strange because as a chosen one, you're already, and you have a lot of empathy, compassion. You're kind to people. You want to help. I mean, what you get in return is the total opposite of what you've given out. You could understand if somebody's, like an a-hole. You would understand why people don't like them. That would make sense. You treat somebody like crap, expect to get treated back like crap. That's what makes sense. But the chosen one, you get the crap, It don't matter what you do, how kind you are. You're gonna you try to get the short end of the stick. I mean, you don't try to, you will get the short end of the stick. You get slandered. It's crazy. You get slandered. You get like bullied at work, at your jobs that you're at, any groups that you're kind of in. Eventually, people will turn on you, and that's just part of the chosen experience. So I've thought about this. I just kind of, I was getting some downloads last night, so I started trying to take some notes. And I think I got a good understanding. I'm trying to explain this. I might jump around a little because it just rushes in. It rushes in. And I'm trying to get it all out. But if you've noticed, chosen ones are pretty nice. They're nice. They got like a good sense of humor. A lot of them are, pretty easy on the eyes. They might not just be the hottest person, but they're kind of easy on the eyes. They're attractive or handsome, or maybe cute, maybe pretty. Just, they're relatable. They're willing to, listen to, they're just kind of overall good spirits. And they're also oddballs, We're also oddballs. We stand out wherever we go. We're like a sore thumb. We don't even want the attention, but we get it, whether it's, kind of good or bad. Either way it goes, it's like we're our own little something. We march to the beat of our own drum, in other words. And I realized God made us that way for a specific reason. He's given us, a lot of stuff like talents, gifts, some decent looks, handsome or pretty or, something, a nice sense of humor, blah, blah, blah. It's because he needs to set you apart from the masses. That's why he gives you so many gifts and traits. He needs to set you apart to where eyes are always on you for whatever reason. It doesn't, that's why it makes you so weird, so like oddball. So people will look at you for that. Makes you decently looking. People will look at you for that. Gives you a talent. People will look at you for that. There's all these reasons why people will look at you. And this is a one specific reason. And here's the proof that God is not doing that to make you think you're better or you're getting some type of head start or anything like that. The proof is the first half of your life as a chosen one, you don't even realize that you have gifts. You realize you might have a few talents. You don't realize what is so special. You just think you're just you. You see yourself all the time. You know what I mean? It's like somebody, you might run into somebody and they'd be like, this is just an example. Wow, your hair is getting long. You know, say it's to a, you know, like a girl or something. Hey, your hair is getting long. To the girl, she doesn't even think her hair is getting long because she sees it all the time. You can't really see the difference because you see yourself all the time. So you don't know. You only can you can really see the difference once somebody kind of tells you, you know, mentions it. Then you're like, oh yeah, I guess it is kind of long. I see it every day. So one, you don't even realize that you're talented or you got this gift or people see something in you. You don't even know that. So that's already proof that that's not the reason why God instilled all these different positive qualities in you. And to prove this even more is that everyone else sees it in you, but you. You don't even see it in you. And the sad part about that is that your parents, your friends, this is as a chosen one, your parents, your friends, your family, they won't even tell you. They won't even tell you that they see something special about you. So you don't even know. You think you think you're just like everybody else because these people see this stuff in you, but they don't even tell you that. So the whole time it's like you're like a diamond in the rough. And the thing about that is that's exactly where you're supposed to be. That's exactly where you're supposed to be. Right there, that diamond that's in that rough. He'll surround you with people who might envy you, you know, tend to be a little jealous of you or think you had a better hand dealt than they did. But he'll keep you in that situation and in that area for a learning experience. And this is all for the ending result, which is your purpose. And we're going to get to all that. The proof that God doesn't give these gifts just because is that you don't even realize that you have these gifts until you awaken later in life. You have no idea. You understand that you might be, you know, good at, say, basketball, you know what I'm saying? You might be good at music. You might be pretty, you know, but the thing is, you're good, but nobody's ever going to tell you that, yo, you're really good. You should maybe think about going that direction. You don't get that, so you never have that. And this is also from when you're a little kid, you don't ever get the reassurance that, hey, I see this in you from an adult standpoint, like, oh, that kid looks like he's talented at this. Let me guide him or guide her to where they need to go, because I see this in them, but they don't see this in them. But what happens is, and this is crazy, is they're like, I see this in them. I need to keep them from seeing this in them. And this is friends, family, a lot of people that you run into. They're like, no, I do not want him to, because whatever they see in you that you don't see in yourself stands out like a sore thumb. So the reason he's made you stand out so much with your gifts and all your talents and your oddballness and your quirky uniqueness is because at some point, God is going to need all eyes on you. He's going to need everybody looking at you. Because you need to remember, chosen ones, we're here for a specific reason. We have a specific job we have to do. It's not fun and games. I mean, we'll have some fun, but it's like you're always working. It's like you're a personal assistant to God. And you know how busy God is. So he always has something for you to do. So you got all this equipment and the special equipment, but you're working for God. So yeah, you're going to have some special equipment. And the thing about like the gifts and the talents, once about time you really see that you have all these gifts and all these talents, you're deep into your awakening by this point. This is when you realize you finally realize that. And you're out of by that time, you're out of the 3D world. You're into like 5D, like fifth dimension. You're like out of it. You're getting downloaded. You're already underway a big transformation. You're already, so all these gifts you get that people saw in you, you don't get to see those yet. It's not like you got them and you're like, oh, I can go to the club and use these gifts. No, you didn't even know you had the gifts. The gifts weren't truly revealed to you until you actually got out of the club stage. Like you got out of the whole 3D, like the kind of physical world, like the societal norm. You've already gotten out of that. And now the gifts, you get to see them and you get to learn them, learn what they are. And after you've pretty much moved from everything you know, and this is people, places, and things, and this is when your gifts show up. And you start realizing what you're like really like good at and pinpointing things. This is deep into the awakening after you've shed a layer of skin, after you've went into that isolation and transformed pretty much like how a butterfly evolves, evolving into like a butterfly. So once you, so with these gifts that and talents that you've had, and everyone that knew you had besides you, now God begins to train you on your gifts and reveals to you even more gifts that's been lying dormant this whole time. God, with the chosen one, God instills or installed everything that we need already into a chosen one. We just have to we got to figure out how to access all these different things. And getting access to these different gifts and these different like powers, different things is not to have fun with. It's not like he picked you out of he definitely picked you out of the crowd for whatever reason. But it's not to be like, I'm favoring you. Because you got to realize you're not getting to use all this stuff the way you would want to use it. You're using it the way he wants you to use it. So once you start realizing all these talents and stuff and gifts and all this stuff, that magical stuff that you can do, and the things about yourself that's special, this shows that a lot of the things that people already so by you not knowing about all this stuff that people saw in you, this shows a lot of things about the people that were envious and kind of jealous, thinking that you've had a better hand dealt. This shows a lot about them. Because, first of all, the chosen person couldn't even see all the stuff they saw in themselves. They couldn't see it. And then on top of it, they never even told the chosen person that they see these things in you. They never said anything. And so they tend to, push you out of the group, slander your name, make up lies. He thinks he's better, blah, blah, blah. And they know you don't even see that. So what that actually turns out to be is you were getting bullied that whole time. You're being mistreated. Because if you couldn't see what they saw in you, that proves that you wasn't using what they saw in you to your advantage, because you didn't even know that you had anything. They were just mad that you had something that they didn't have. And they're like, they don't even see this, and I'm not going to tell them. So what does that mean? I mean, it's like you walk out to your car, and your neighbor sees that you left your cup of coffee on the roof of the car while you're putting stuff into your car, loading up your car with whatever. They see you got the roof, and they're talking to, they're like right next door. This is just an example. Just right next door, and they're looking at you, and you get in the car and close the door. Obviously, you didn't realize you left the cup of coffee on the roof. While they could just be like, hey, before you drive off, they watch you drive off with that cup of coffee. They saw something and didn't say nothing. So what is that? Does that mean your neighbor likes you? No, they wanted you to fail for whatever reason. I don't know what what the reason is, but yeah. So they can't use that you're doing anything to them because you're not even using your own powers. They just see them in you. You're not even really using them. Or if you do use them, you're using them accidentally. Like you would do something and you're not even doing it to your full potential because you don't even know that you're actually that good at it. But that little bit that the people see, they're like, damn, he did that with ease. He didn't even realize he did that. He broke down this. He explained that. Or something I was telling him about, he told me the exact thing. Or whatever it is. They see it in you, but you don't even recognize it. But they don't tell you. So you're not doing that. You're not doing anything to them. And if this say it wasn't bullying, say I'm just making it up that it's bullying. You can ask the people in the chosen one's life if they're going to be honest to answer this question. Ask them, hey, did you see something special in that person over there? And we're talking about the chosen one. Did you see something in that chosen one over there? If they say yes, ask them, did you ever tell them that they have something special going on? Or did you hide that from them? That's how you know. If they never told you, you know what I mean? But since God works, well, overall, we understand that it's mistreatment. That's all it is. It's mistreatment, and it's wrong. That's the bottom line. So there's your confirmation for that. You know what I mean? So now you get an explanation, or now you can understand why people don't really want you in the group, don't like you and stuff. But since God works in wonderful, mysterious ways, all that mistreatment was actually training. That mistreatment was training to get you to this point right here. How would I be able to tell and know what's going on if I didn't go through all that stuff? It was just part of the plan. It was part of God's plan. He hid me from myself. So what I think the reason why God wanted all eyes on us throughout our life, always being noticed by something, by someone, whether it's good or bad, but we're always noticed. Always. You can't hide. We can walk in a room and try to sit in the back corner of a room, and people will still come up to us and notice. We can't hide. That's just it. And what I've realized is that the reason why he has all eyes on us is because once we awaken and we learn all of our gifts and we're able to tap into these talents, our talents are finally revealed to us, which other people have known for years. But now they're revealed to us. And we're like, okay, I am good at that. All right, so let me pinpoint, let me go into that now. And you're going into all that stuff. All this stuff you've been through has been training. But now you get to explore and begin training on what you were actually meant to do. And by God putting all these eyes on you, once God starts delivering the messages, which are the downloads I talk about when I'm like, oh, I got a download, it's just a thought that magically pops into your thought process. Then with all the information I've kind of just gained, I can analyze it, and then I can try to break it down and explain what this is. So you start getting all the downloads, and by all the eyes being on you, at some point they will be, because this is the whole purpose of him having people, because he made you weird. He made you weird as a chosen one. So now that he's delivering his messages and he's using you, this is what all this training was. This is what all this work that God wanted you to do as a chosen one. So now he's delivering messages to me, and now I'm delivering the messages. But the thing about it is, I'm still a chosen one, so the eyes are still on me. So God used me as a megaphone, because he already set it up to where people would eventually be looking at me or listening to me. There's going to be some have attention drawn to me. At some point in my life, that's what was supposed to happen. So now that I'm speaking, he needed people to automatically look for multiple different reasons, because he needed a group. Like I like music. I like making music. So he needed the music group people to look at me. Gave me some decent looks. So he needed the people that like my looks to look. But not because how I look, but because of what my purpose and the messages. He wants them to look so they're looking with their eyes, but what I'm saying is going into their ears. Do you see what I'm saying? Pretty much just, I don't care how the attention is put on you, but I need the most amount of people to pay attention to you, because I have something to say. And this, I'm just talking about me, but this is for all chosen ones. We all have messages that we're having to deliver to other people to awaken them, to balance out the scales, to keep the scales balanced. So that's what the whole oddball thing was. That's what the whole point of being abstract about how we move in life. We do stuff totally different, and that's going to make somebody look at us. We don't know why they're looking. But that's also why he hid our talents and gifts from us, because he needed to keep us in the trenches to gain knowledge about what the world is like. We needed to gain the experience. And we had to go through the whole full cycle of a bunch of different crazy situations that most people probably couldn't handle. And that we probably couldn't handle if we wasn't chosen. But our job was to handle those situations. But it was also God and our spiritual team handling the majority. They just had us, our physical bodies here, to go through the situation, but they're in the background navigating the whole thing. We're like, we got to just keep this guy here. We got to keep him. He's got to stay in this situation because he's going to need to tell people how to navigate these situations later. He doesn't know that, and we can't tell him. We can't tell him that either because we need him to believe that he's actually in this situation. To experience it fully. So once the eyes are on him and we can start delivering the messages, he knows it just like it happened to him because it did happen to him. So that's why as chosen ones, we gotta, we've had like an uphill battle, like our whole life. And it seemed like challenge after challenge after challenge after challenge after challenge. It was all training. If you look back, it was all training. Think about how much knowledge you know about things, about everything. And a lot of the knowledge that we've gained was from hardships. We'd go through something, so we'd research that to understand why this is happening. We just kept going. And we kept gaining knowledge on all these crazy situations. Like, I feel like I'm already thinking about season 3 on a whole different subject that's still connected to the chosen ones. And I think I'm on maybe 4 or 5 on season 2 right now. And I'm like, wow, after I think about it, when you look back after awakening and you look back at you and your life, you're like, there's no way anybody could have made it through this if God wasn't there or if my spiritual team wasn't with me. This is crazy. Like, I still say it's crazy. I mean, I'll just be walking through the house or I'll just be driving or something. I'm like, out the blue, something across my mind. I'll be like, that was crazy. So I got plenty of stories to talk about. And lessons, mainly, they're all lessons, but they're all, based off of stories. So the reason why, so this is kind of what's been going on through our lives as a chosen one. And I'm going to use this kind of analogy as an explanation to kind of try to prove, not to prove, but to explain a point. Imagine you having to jog. All right, jogging's already just, if you're out of shape, jogging's already hard enough. So our life is just a continuous jog. And we're jogging and we're jogging. We're getting tired and we're like, God, this is tough. I need a break. And he goes, you want a break? You're like, yeah. So he just brings in a hill that's steep. He's like, all right, you could walk. I'll give you a break. You can walk, but it's got to be uphill. And then you're like, yeah, okay, well, at least I take this little break. That's how our breaks feel. It's still uphill. And then after, he's like, are you ready to run again? All right, yeah, I run. Then he just flattens out the hill. And now you're just running on a flat surface. But you never get to stop running or moving forward in a challenging way. And the reason why is because he already knew this journey is going to be hard for you. Because you need to go through these experiences so you can get to your purpose later, years down the line. I'm in my 40s right now. I'm 44. Your years down the line, I need this guy with as much experience as possible. I was just used as a training. All that's training, all that jogging. Then I found the way I get to rest is to walk uphill. And then it's like, all right, let's start running again. And the reason why, and this is what I think, this is just like what I've come up with, is if he gave me a break and let me sit down to drink some water or Gatorade or sit in the AC, is one, I would cramp up. You know, I wouldn't be as strong when I started this run again, because it wasn't going to end, because that wasn't the purpose. It's just it was training the whole time. It was training the whole time. And he's like, if I let this guy sit in the AC for a little while, it's going to be tough for him to continue this journey from this break. He's like, so I won't ever really give him a break. And once all you know is that you're going to be running or you get to walk uphill, you get to start appreciating the break that's still a challenge. Seems like something you could smile through. You're looking forward to walking uphill because that's all you've kind of ever done. You're looking forward to it. You're walking up the hill and you're like, yeah, I get a break. You're happy about it. Most people can even just walk up the hill, but you think the hill is a blessing. Overall, it was. You didn't know it at the time, but that's what he trained, he trained you for that. So what happens once you start getting close to the end, you've gotten so used to running on this flat surface. And then when it's time to take a break, you walk up this steep hill that just keeps going. It's just, you can take a break as long as you want, but the hill is so steep to where it's probably equal to jogging on a flat surface. Like you're not even really getting a break. You just think you're getting a break. So so you're really just powering through. That's all it is. He's just giving you two different things. It's like, do you want to get bit by a bear, eaten by a bear, or eaten by a mountain lion? It's like, well, you don't know. But that's kind of what it is, that steep hill and that flat surface that you're running on. So you get so used to that. And you get so conditioned to power through tough, challenging times because it's all you know. You've finally developed your posture. You're standing up straight while you're jogging. You've got in your groove and you're looking forward. And you're looking so hard forward and pushing through this so much, you don't even realize that you've crossed the finish line because you were looking up and the finish line hit you in the waist. You don't know to stop, so you just keep running. And that's what our life is. We're at the finish line and we don't even know. That's how we keep going. We're conditioned. We're tough. We're real tough. So I hope this message gives the chosen ones some understanding and some confirmation about what we've been going through, because it's a tough journey. It just that uphill battle is just, and it's so, I mean, we couldn't have done it if we didn't start early, if we didn't start as a kid. You can't just have a easy childhood and then just get thrown into this. You wouldn't make it out. It had to start early. So if you look back at your life, and this will happen once you awaken, because you get to step out of your old self and you get to look at the old you from a higher dimension and actually analyze it and see what happened and also learn from all the stuff that you've already been through. And one thing, don't think it's over. We keep elevating. We'll close out one cycle, then now it's time for the next. It just keeps going because we have a job to do. But yeah, I hope this helps y'all, and gives you the motivation just to keep on going. Because I mean, one, we don't have any choice but to keep going. Think about it. God's not gonna let us stop. He's just gonna keep picking us up. You fall down, yeah, pick you up. Hey, you need to keep going. I put you here for a reason. I picked you for a reason. Okay, so I'm in this right here. Until next time.